Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising in Venus, welcome. It's Warriors of Light Astro Tarot. I'm David doing your heart spread reading, a love, romance, and relationship read. This is for the mid-May time frame. And before we start, briefly, I'll go into the astrology because significantly you have the Empress here showing your energy around love, romance, and relationship, which is the Venus card. So Venus is in your sign of Aries, and Jupiter will be technically tomorrow. But for the purposes of this reading, Jupiter is now in Aries. Both of these energies, you have the great benefic is Jupiter, and the minor benefic, which is Venus. So it's bringing really yummy energy to your sign of Aries, particularly if your sun here right now is at lower degrees of Aries. When Venus is on the sun, it's always really good energy, you know. It's hard to really make anything bad out of that. Venus in Aries is often considered to be, fickled or moving too fast energy, or maybe predator love and energy. But particularly by transit, I don't think so. I think what it's doing, it's just infusing the love energy of Venus right now with fire and passion of Aries. And so, in terms of love, where you're at right now, this is a wonderful energy to be in, the Empress. So, it also speaks to someone who's probably a little bit older. If this is your reading, so we can know off the bat this is your reading, you have to waste time watching the whole reading. Someone who has reached some place in your life, even if you're younger, where you feel like you have some control over things. You can bring to any situation a calmness, that you're like the big planet that the other planets would orbit around. This is this Empress energy. Very nice energy to show up in this reading, because I'm kind of trying to get a beat on kind of where you're at in terms of love and relationship. So it really couldn't be in a more perfect position. Now, your person here, I'm going to say this two ways. If they are Capricorn, and this is for whoever's on your mind, whoever you're in a relationship with. If you're single, it could be predictive, and then it would speak to a Capricorn if they come in, because this is the Capricorn card. So it could simply be pointing to the fact that there's a Capricorn. Now, if not a Capricorn, then it speaks to the fact that they have this devil energy, being obsessive. At the really worst end of it, it's narcissism. But you know, there's a lot of sexual passion comes with it. When I'm seeing it with the Empress being you and them being the devil, probably they're younger than you. They probably are in a place of not as much strength as you, not as much command as you, and not as whole as you. The Empress is very whole, very capable of taking care of herself or himself and others. And this devil energy is kind of literally not being in control, and often then projecting that onto other people, particularly those they're in relationship with. Okay, now this is their energy of how they're relating to you specifically, the Five of Pentacles, and that's lack mentality, poverty mentality. And the way you're relating to them now is the Queen of Swords. And so, kind of what that tells me, again, if this is your reading, I'd love for you to comment and do like and subscribe and follow and all that, especially on YouTube now, getting real close to 1,000, and then we can go live. But this is energy of kind of setting someone straight, setting boundaries. You see here in this deck, which is the Gilded Royale deck, by the way, a lot of doves are emphasized. So it's not someone, especially being the Empress, you know, you're not busting someone out or anything like that. Just being very strong and confident and outspoken in the way you deal with them, which is also kind of Aries energy anyway. But now, in the way they're dealing with you, I got to say, combined with the devil here, this is someone that they probably lack self-esteem. They're in some kind of lack mentality around the way they feel about themselves. And so when they look at you, they probably got you on a pedestal. Whether they say it or not, I got a feeling they might not. It's kind of a little secret that's within them, maybe, perhaps even unspoken by them to themselves. But where they're kind of like, wow, I can't believe this Empress would want me. And it could, I get this kind of feeling with this energy here, a little bit like they might almost be giggling and not really maliciously, but like thinking like, I can't believe I'm pulling this off. I can't believe this Empress thinks I'm worthy. And so, but it's kind of dangerous because, if we're in that mentality, even if they're well-meaning, and again, if they are a Capricorn, then that makes this what I'm saying not the narcissist energy. If they're not a Capricorn, I'm going to say this is pretty malefic here on their part, okay? And would definitely explain why you're coming in here with the Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is exactly the one that's going to, or the King, is going to set this kind of energy straight and have very clear boundaries. I got to say, though, if this is the person on your mind, you're attracted to them. They're probably very sexy, honestly. Now, this is the energy which is of advice from Spirit for you, particularly in this relationship. And this is the energy of advice from Spirit for your person, particularly in this relationship. And this is the advice for the relationship as a whole. So I consider this the most important card, really, of the whole reading, because I trust the advice from Spirit now. So I think what this is saying to you, coming under the Queen of Swords, is maybe if you weren't really setting them straight, you need to, because the knights are actions. Now, even it's a Knight of Swords, not the Knight of Wands, but it's about action. So it's about action with words. So it's super strong energy of setting boundaries with words. This could be anything from, honey, you need to quit talking about yourself in a negative manner because that's not working for me and it doesn't really work for you. So it could kind of be like that. Something like the Empress could pull off. It's a little bit talking down to them. But if you're in a relationship with someone, that can happen. You don't want to be the overriding theme of a relationship where you're always like having that kind of condescension with your person. But I get the feeling that's what this involves here, okay? To be clear. And coming under the Five of Pentacles, their advice for you is twofold. Number one, you are good enough, cross watcher. You can share this too. I would love that. Share this with your person. But that's definitely what this is about. Number two, I think it's kind of trying to say to this person that this Aries is the world. So they really are the world to you. So I get the feeling too, if they haven't said it to you, they might be thinking within this energy, particularly if they are Capricorn, they might be thinking, you are the world. And maybe thinking, I can't really say that, that's crazy. But you can say that. I mean, why shouldn't your lover be the world? I think that's all right in terms of love, romance, and relationships. Again, it can't be the only dynamic, but now with the Ace of Wands being the advice for a relationship as a whole, this is a flaming phallus here, and this is advice from Spirit. And so, why I think that this could be more minor, this kind of energy, and not true narcissist behavior. Just kind of minor, having to do with them feeling not so good about themselves, guys. But this is Aries energy too, the Ace of Wands, and it's a go. It's like fire it up, go for it. If you haven't had sex, have sex. If you are, then it's okay. If it's off the charts hot, which I got, look at the colors, look at the flames, look at the flames. It's okay. I mean, I think sex is supposed to be hot at the beginning. If it's not hot at the beginning, it ain't gonna be good a couple years later. I pretty much guarantee that. Very interesting with this reading. The outcome is the Judgment card. That is a Pluto card, technically, in tarot. It once again could be speaking to kind of plutonic elements in the relationship. If you look at your synastry, you might even see it in your composite if you're familiar with astrology. And there can be plutonic elements, Pluto on the moon, Pluto on Venus, Pluto trine Venus, square Venus, trine the Mars, square Mars on the Mars, things like that. And it's not necessarily bad. I think it is something you should be aware of. Be interesting to look at your astrology and see, because it can help explain what's going on. So there's an element of transformation about this relationship, which also might be why you're being asked to kind of get in there and be directive with them, which is kind of a bit counterintuitive sometimes by normal relationship theory. And because you have this wisdom more so than them. And I think it's okay. I think that's how relationships work. Sometimes they're karmic. Maybe they come in and, you owe them a debt. And now this is how it's not so much about paying debts, it's about balancing the energy. So, but by you being the mature one and helping them to gain a stronger foot, say, emotionally, you make a relationship that's really balanced. And it means it's very karmic as well with Judgment. So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you. Love you.